It says, hello. Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well this Friday afternoon UK time. My name is Carl. Thank you for joining us here at the TEFL org for this live webinar on YouTube and on Facebook. Please say hello to us in the chat. I can see some lovely hellos coming in. Some California, Alan in San Diego, California. Oh, that I wish I was in San Diego, California. Hello from the Netherlands, Monza, Glasgow, Copenhagen, UK, Derbyshire, Portugal. Fantastic. I can see some questions coming in as well already. That's lovely. So my name's Carl. I am one of the tutors here at the TEFL org. And I have been working in the industry of teaching English as a foreign language for about 20 odd years. I think it's something like that, coming up to 20 years anyway, roughly. I'm old. And I've been working in various parts around the world. I've worked as an examiner, as a teacher trainer. I've run centres. I've been just a normal, average TEFL teacher in a few places. And I have built myself a little business up online, which is where I do a lot of my teaching nowadays and have done for a few years, even before COVID hit. And I'm here today to help you get into teaching English as a foreign language if you're not already into it. Or if you are into it and you're trying to find some students, then this is the webinar for you. So please, any questions you have, primarily about finding students online, but if there are other questions that you've got about if you want to find out what sort of qualification to get or how to get into teaching English, then please put them in the chat. So let me just first of all, I've got a little presentation which I'm just going to go through here about finding students online. I can see some questions are already coming in on the subject. I will definitely get round to those questions in a minute. Okay, so finding students online. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about my situation. Okay, so I realized sort of about 5 years ago that I wanted to start teaching online, and I felt like that was something that I wanted to do. And I had a job at a university, but I decided to basically start working towards having my own business basically online. So what did I do? What was the first thing I did was I started with a Facebook page. So I found out my niche in terms of what I wanted to teach. And by niche, I mean a part of English as a foreign language. So within English as a foreign language, there's lots and lots of different types of English, basically. There's academic English, there's medical English, there's also business English, there's legal English, there's teaching exam English. Within those exams, there's speaking, reading, writing, listening. There's kids, there's different age ranges, there's different levels within all of these. So you've got to find a niche, the part of English as a foreign language that you think you would enjoy, and then build up. I found mine, and then I started a Facebook page from that. Okay. And then on that Facebook page, I did some live videos. I very slowly increased the number of likes. I pushed some lessons that I was offering for students in the price range that I was happy to work at. And then the students very slowly came to me. It took a while, but they very, very slowly came to me. And then alongside that, sort of at the same time as doing that, I built a website. I did start with the Facebook page and I ran that for a couple of months, but I kind of decided that I needed to do something else alongside that. Still have the Facebook page, still have the website, build a website alongside that. And then from that, I did some paid ads. So I gave Mark Zuckerberg some money to get my name out there a bit. I gave Google some money to get my website out there as well. And I started to get students through that, through paid ads. Okay. I would say that from making my Facebook page to filling my schedule, and by that, I don't mean teaching 40 hours a week. I was sort of looking at around 15 to 20 hours a week of teaching. Took me about a year to fill that up. Okay, so and it kind of went really slowly and then sort of shot up, and then I got quite a big numbers towards the end. Okay. I also at that time didn't charge as much as I charge now. So I did sort of go in at the bottom sort of range of what I was happy to sort of work at, basically. And then from that, I sort of built it up. And then I started increasing my prices once I started to get the numbers in. Okay. Thank you. I can see all these questions coming in, and I'm definitely going to get to them. I'm sure. I can see some names there of people that have been with us for weeks now watching these webinars. I promise you I'm going to get to your questions soon. I just want to get through my bit here. Social media. Okay, so social media is going to be a key part of how you find your students online. All right, it's really important. So, and I'm not just talking about Facebook, I'm talking about all the different types of social media. Okay, however, Facebook, I think personally, myself, is the easiest way to get up and running and get going with it. Okay, make a business page on Facebook. It's quite easy to do. It doesn't take much technical knowledge to do it, like building a website might do. We're going to get to that in a minute. But make yourself a page on Facebook where you give it a name. Be a bit careful with the name because it's difficult to change the name once you get to a certain number of followers. Okay. Make a page, do some videos, post regularly, all that kind of thing. Get people to come up, okay? Also, alongside that, make a discussion group where you could maybe just get people sort of talking to each other, asking each other questions. For example, for the type of English that I'm teaching, I'd post a little discussion question like, what is the most difficult aspect of speaking? And then all the students underneath would sort of type and they'd go like that. And you weren't necessarily finding students that way, but you were keeping your numbers running. And then every now and again, you drop in something like, I offer lessons or blah, 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 or you should watch my video, like that. Okay. So Facebook is what I think. Now, it's not the only one at all, but it's the way that I found students quite quickly. Okay, and I still think it's one of the best ways. You can also comment in groups that aren't yours or on pages that aren't yours. So I used to do this a lot. So I would go in, you'd be surprised how many groups on Facebook there are for students to learn English. So you would have something like improve your speaking, ESL, or improve my English grammar, something like that. You go in there, one of the students poses a question, you go and you answer it, hello, like that. I wouldn't necessarily push my website, push my lessons or something like that, but you'd be surprised sort of if you have a bit of knowledge, students would start contacting you, that kind of thing, and then you can press it through your messages. Go in, you can comment as your page that you've made yourself, although I found it's best to go in there and comment as Carl instead of my business name. Just it felt a bit more human, and I think that worked a bit better for me. Okay, so that's one of the things that I would say first of all about Facebook. All right, okay, but however, of course, there are other ways beyond Facebook, and I'm for a number of years old, quite old, and probably Facebook might be not used by necessarily the youngest people so much. I can see there Paula's put in the chat that they use Instagram a lot, for sure. I'm not really one for Instagram. Maybe because I'm not the most photogenic of people, but definitely think of different types of social medias. One of the ones I have had some success with is LinkedIn. You might find, especially if you're going to go down the business English route, that this is a way to do it. You can go into LinkedIn, you can comment on some posts, you can search for people by industry. You'd be surprised, again, a bit like Facebook, how many groups there are within LinkedIn of people sort of trying to help each other and that kind of thing. And to learn grammar, learn speaking, learn business vocabulary, that sort of thing. You go in there, you chat, you get yourself in there, get yourself known. You can also have a LinkedIn business page. You can obviously have your own LinkedIn profile. People contact you. I've had some, not a huge amount of success, but some success by that. Sorry, my PowerPoint skills are not up to anything at all, are they? They've gone around the wrong way. Anyway, next, the other thing that I have had some success with is, and I haven't done this for a long time, but I did do this at the start, okay? And I also did this when I lived in quite a big city. Now I live a bit more rural and I don't really do it so much. But when I lived in the big city, I put an advert in Gumtree or in local classifieds. If you don't know what a classified is, It's something where you sort of advertise something for free. Well, yeah, you don't pay to advertise if you know what I mean, but your service that you're charging is a certain fee, but it doesn't cost you anything to pay for the ad, if that makes sense. I think Gumtree's still free. I hope it is. Anyway, you put yourself in there and you say, hello, Carl, the English teacher. Let's meet in a local coffee shop, or let's meet in my office, or let's meet at your house, something like that. I can teach you English, 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is, an hour. Okay. So you'd be surprised. Go into Gumtree and look at how many classified ads there are for people to learn English. Teaching English, and also people wanting teachers, and also there's often EFL jobs in there as well in Gumtree, so worth a look. Instagram, I don't personally use it too much, but I know it's something where here at the TEFL org we have a lot of success through Instagram, advertising our courses, that kind of thing. Also, I know of some teachers that advertise themselves on Instagram. However, I have not done it myself. Please, if you use Instagram to get your students, put into the chat, okay? Now, there's this thing, it's called TikTok. I thought it was just for people crazy dancing. What do I know? However, I last week spoke to a teacher that says they're getting students through TikTok. I have no idea how to do that, what to do, but I think that's what the kids these days are using. Try TikTok. That's all I'm giving you. Try TikTok. Okay, so use those sort of different ways. Then what you want to do is use all of these kind of different ways of contacting students and funnel them to a web page, your own web page. Ultimately, I think it is the best way to find students. If you want to do this to any sort of level of success, to not have a web page is not going to work, I think, okay? You've got to have a focus where you're pushing people towards your webpage, and from that webpage you can take the money, you can book the lessons, you can put your videos up, you can get it all together, get yourself a webpage, okay? Still, about 90% of the people that contact me come through my webpage, all right? Now, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that Wix is the easiest way to make a website, wix.com. I don't know that. Somebody told me that. I don't know if it's true. I've put a question mark there. If you've had any experience of that, please put it in the chat. Let us know. I think the best way to do it long term is to build your own web page through WordPress. Okay. So WordPress, if none of you know, is you buy your domain name. You check that the hosting company you're with is eligible to use WordPress. Most of them are. And then you add little modules, they're called, into WordPress for different parts of the website you want to do. There are loads and loads of YouTube videos to help people. There's loads of websites to help people. But I think WordPress is definitely the best way to do it long term. Okay. Could go into a big, long discussion about this, but I won't. Have a Google of that. Okay, then you've got yourself your ad, you've got yourself your website. Then you might want to start thinking about paid ads. My advice to you is to set a budget that you are happy to and stick to it for the paid ads. You can just throw money like a casino at paid ads, and unless you really know what you're doing, you've really got to make sure how you stick to a certain amount of money and you don't go on over it. Okay, I started on 50p a day and that worked for me fine. Remember, you're going to be a teacher. You're not going to be earning mega bucks, so you got to keep your advertising costs as low down as you can. You can also make a lot of mistakes with paid ads, I think. All right, YouTube has tons of videos on how to help with paid ads. Okay, so before you give Mark Zuckerberg some money, before you give Google some money, make sure you have looked at some videos and made sure that you got a rough idea of what you're doing. Okay. Google ads, I find are pretty good. I think people sort of neglect Google ads, but I personally think that they're the best way to do it. Okay. And then, of course, Facebook ads, I think, are the other way. You can also link your Instagram to your Facebook ads to get your name out there, to get your page out there, all that kind of thing. Okay. What I would say about paid ads is take your time, don't rush into it, spend a lot of time looking at all the settings, make sure that they work well with your niche. The other thing that I would say about some of these paid ads is, and generally I would say this as a whole, and please, if you disagree with me, it's absolutely fine. Put it in the comments. I find that getting paid students from China can be difficult. The reason being is because they don't really use Facebook. They don't really use Google. And because of that, you've got to sort of work out the way to do it through like something like QQ.com. I did try a little bit. I did try it a little bit difficult. I did try it a few times and I found it really difficult. Mary, I can see in the chat you've put there $50 per day. No, not $50 per day. Do not spend $50 a day. I spent 50 pence. That's half a pound. Okay, half a pound a day. I do not spend $50 a day. Don't spend $50 a day. Start very small, like $1, 50 cents, something like that a day, and just go from that. So that's what I'd say about paid ads is, it's difficult to get hold of Chinese students that way. Okay. Thank you guys. And that's just my little presentation. If you do have some more questions, I'm going to answer them. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me go back up here. I can scroll back up to the top through all the hellos and find some questions. Amanda, hello. You are British, but have only used primary school English. That's an interesting one. I now want to change jobs, teach online, but my written English grammar is not good enough. How can I do something about that? So, are you a native speaker, Amanda? I'm not so sure. What I would say to you, Amanda, is have a little look at some. First of all, you can take some grammar tests. See if your grammar is as bad as you think it is. Okay, look at some grammar textbooks. I've got loads behind me there. See if you can, get a couple of those, work your way through those. Also, there are lots of English tests out there. You might want to think about downloading a practice one and just seeing how you go with that one. I think, just there's lots of websites for aimed at adults who are learning to read, this kind of thing. This is not a question I've ever been asked, Amanda, I must admit. And you might be able to find some stuff on that. Okay. Good luck with that. I hope that works. Hello, everyone from Qatar. Hello, somebody in Qatar. Dylan in Glasgow. Alex in Copenhagen. Daniela, hello. Is it better to invest more money and time towards a website, or is it better to invest in social media? I think you do both at the same time, Danielle. You don't do one and just concentrate on that. Social media can get you up and running more quickly. A website, whereas might take you a bit longer to learn if you haven't got any skills, that kind of thing. But I would definitely do both alongside each other at the same time if I was you. Okay. Ultimately, I think you need a website. Okay. Thank you everybody for saying hello. Thank you for saying hello. I can see all the hellos. Mariana. Hello, Musako, is it? Hope I've said that right. You don't have any experience teaching. Where should I start? I don't know if you've got your qualification yet, Mariana. First thing that you need to do, I think, and I'm just going to get a website up here, is if you've not taught before at all, you've got no idea. Great website to start with is our own website here at the TEFL org. So just go into your web browser, type in TEFL.org, and there's lots of information here about the courses that that we do. You're basically looking for a course that's 120 hours. You're basically looking for a course that is accredited by a professional body that is not linked to the company you're giving them money to. So check that there's good accreditation. For example, ours at the bottom, we list our accreditation. You can do Google searches of those. You can have a look at those, all of those kind of things. Check the reputation, because companies will make sure that the TEFL certificate you have is a good quality. Okay. Then, there's a whole section here, new to TEFL. Click on that. lots of information about what to do. Okay, so that would be the first thing I would start, would be to go on TEFL.org. Okay, good. Mary, hello. Is it easy to find one-to-one students online? So, yeah, basically, easy. It does depend on you. Look, it's not going to be quick. It's going to take a while. Okay, like even for someone like me who's been teaching, most of their adult life, basically, it took me a while to get myself going. You are not going to find your own students very quickly and get yourself have a full schedule within like a week. I don't think. Maybe I am wrong, but that's what I think. I think you have to. What I'd recommend to you is to get some work working for a company while also finding your own students. One-on-one is the easiest way to find students. It's the easiest way to find students because they tend to, you don't often see two people looking on Facebook together to find work, to find a teacher, to find that kind of thing. So one-on-one is definitely the way forward, I think. Okay, so it's definitely look for your one-on-one. Don't necessarily go down the trying to advertise the group routes. Okay. Linda, hello. You have a TEFL qualification of 120 hours plus the advanced course teaching online, but you don't have a degree. What jobs can you apply for? Well, there's, again, on our website, if you go to the blog page on our website, Linda, so if you go to TEFL.org, if you go to the blog post, if you go to the section at the top there, which says BLOG, if you type in there and you type in teaching without a degree, you will be able to find lots of information. I don't think it's coming up at the moment, but go to TEFL.org, click on blog, BLOG, and then in that, thank you, Alan. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot then for shifting it across. If you go to blog at the top there, you do type in teaching without a degree, click on search, and sorry, let me get rid of the teaching right there. And I've also spelt without wrong. This isn't going well, is it? Without a degree. If I type that into the blog post, you see lots of stuff here about how to teach without a degree. Lots of information there, Linda, about how to teach without a degree. When you're finding your own students online, they don't check. The students tend to not check your qualifications. The students tend to not care if you've got a degree or not. It's only companies that will care if you've got a degree or not. Okay. But finding your own students sort of definitely takes you past the problem of not having a degree to apply for some jobs. And there are jobs out there without a degree. Okay. Ruth, you've just completed your 1 hour course. How long will it take for your certificate to be shipped? It depends where you are in the world, Ruth. Depends when you actually finished it, all that kind of thing. If you contact on the chat in the Facebook page, someone will be able to help you there, I'm sure. Mariana, hello. You're still a student, but you have your TEFL certificate. Do you have any recommendation on how to get online teaching job as a student? It's many companies. They do. Many companies do require a bachelor's degree. I'm not gonna say that there are jobs out, all the jobs out there without a degree. It's, it's a thing. It's not. Companies do want you to have degrees. The reason why is because quite often for their work visa purposes, they want you to have a degree. Also, quite often in the countries in the East, a degree is seen as like the thing to have, and to have a teacher without a degree is sometimes seen as not a good teacher. Do I think it makes a much difference? Personally, no. I think the teaching qualification is much more important than the degree. But unfortunately, I don't run the teaching schools in a lot of these places. Go on that, Mariana, go on the webpage I just showed you. Go on there about teaching without a degree, that kind of thing. You'll be able to find some information. Okay, definitely. There's definitely work out there. Or try and find your own students. If you find your own students, you don't need to have a degree. Hello, Martin. You just completed your 120-hour TEFL certification. What's the best advice for getting started? Again, go onto our webpage, have a look at that, new to TEFL, that kind of thing. Start looking at jobs. If you've got your TEFL, if you've passed your TEFL, start looking at the jobs. I think, Martin, is the best thing for you, and just find a job that's suitable for you, either online or face to face, because they are starting to open up. But definitely try and find find a job is the first thing. So start looking for jobs and start to think, okay, do you know what? I could do that one. All right. Sandrine, you've just written me a lovely big essay. I've got to try and read this essay. Hi, Carl. You stopped your career for nearly 20 years to raise your children and did some voluntary work, studied a few courses, learned Dutch during that time. All right. No need to tell me your life story, Sandrine. You've been told yesterday by a recruiter this is a big issue. No employer wants to hire someone who has done nothing for 20 years. To quote what he said, although proud of what I did, this comment hurt and broke my confidence. That's one guy, Sandrine, who's put you down there, and he sounds silly, is what I would say. Keep going. Put on your CV, show your voluntary work out there. Show exactly what you did for your voluntary work. Have you taught your own kids that, if you brought your own kids up, that kind of thing. Start finding some local TEFL voluntary work around you. There is definitely a way to go about that. Okay, you'll be fine, absolutely fine. All right, okay. Deborah, hello. Surely it's better to offer as much as possible. You could offer working with children, adults, business English, and medical English. So could I offer them all? Yeah, if you want to. However, what I would suggest is look into the Google keywords and Facebook keywords that people search for. They don't often search for learn English. They search for improve my business English speaking. Children, it would be something like improve my son's pronunciation, something like that. Adults, it would be pass a certain test. Business English, it would be one of those things. So to say you are Deborah the English teacher, you don't get the hits. You don't, the keywords don't link to your website, to your Facebook page. Okay, unless somebody very clearly searches for Deborah Rawlins, the English teacher, doesn't really work. That's what I found. Having a narrow niche helps you with your marketing. The other issue is, say if you've got a 6-hour working day, you got a 2-hour kids class, then you got a 2 hours business English class, and you got a 2 hours medical English class. That's 3 different classes that you have to plan for, 3 different classes that you have to prep for, 3 different classes that have quite different needs. Are you clever enough in terms of time management to plan those lessons correctly? If you've got a very narrow niche, you can use your lessons over and over and over again. All right, okay. Laura, hello. Do I know anything about EF Language School? So a few weeks ago, they actually did one of these live question and answers, I think, Alan, didn't they? So go back and have a little look and see if that, and watch that EF live video they did. See if you can find some information from that. I know quite a few people that work for them, and I think they seem quite happy. I actually worked for EF Language School in the UK. I was one of my first TEFL jobs was running there, was teaching for them one summer, and then the next summer I run their language schools, and I really liked it. It was a pretty good company to work for. Martin, hello. How do I go about the issue of billing students? Do I utilize PayPal, for example, or are there different ways? Right. So yes, I know people don't. The money thing is important, obviously. However, I have always found it quite easy to get the money from students, no matter where they are. The first thing I say to them is, where are you in the world, and what services can you use? Can you use PayPal? They say, yes, I can use PayPal. Woohoo, happy, lucky days. Sometimes they say, oh no, I use money insta search transfer.com, and you're like, what is that? And you're on your screen looking for that, and you go, actually, do you know what, that might work for me. So that's how I do it, Martin, is I ask them what they do, and then I get the money for that. The reason why I ask the student is because I have I live in the UK, and most of these work in the UK. There tends to be the problem, whereas like you've got your heart set on one that's known and used in the UK, and they can't use it in their country, and then there's disappointment all around, blah, 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 blah. So that's the best. I find that most of the time PayPal works. Okay. If not, I ask them how they do it. And I'm actually experimenting at the moment in trying to get them to pay in cryptocurrency. I'm going to let you know how that goes. But if I could start getting paid in Bitcoin or something like that, I would be very, very happy. Okay. Mary, would I consider speaking the easiest and best way to start online? It's probably the easiest, really. But it does depend what you want to teach, Mary. What is going to be your niche? I don't think it's I don't think there's speaking is that best way or something like that. I think it's whatever it's going to be for your niche. In most lessons, they do some sort of speaking. Okay. Thank you, Deborah, for saying you got a student through it, but no more since. But just keep going at it. Maybe change your city. Have a little look around. I at the start found some students through it. I haven't used it for a while though. I'll be honest with you. Okay. Thank you very much. There's a question about a hosting company which has just jumped off my screen. Sarah, hello. What is a hosting company? Okay, so when you build a website, you need the two things that you need to start with is a domain name. So that is the name that you type into www at the top, into the top of a web browser. And you also need something called a hosting company. And that is basically a company that stores your website on their computers, hard drives, big network drives somewhere in the world. Doesn't have to be in the country that you're in. And they, that basically just allows your website to connect with people. Okay, but they also do things like back up your website. They also do things like security. They also sort out your email. They also allow you to sort of have different subdomain names. They also allow you to do WordPress, all this kind of thing. So very often you can buy your hosting and your domain name at the same time. Shop around for your hosting because it can vary a lot in price and in what people needs to. Okay. Thank you. Lucy, what do I think of advertising on Preply? Never done it. Sorry. So it's not something that I can know of. If anybody's got any clue about how to help Lucy, go for it because it's not something I've done. John, what is the best way to work on your own academic English? There's a website, UEFAP. UEFAP, is that the one? Let me just type that in. UEFAP, yes, it is. Go onto that website, John. UEFAP, Using English for Academic Purposes. Fantastic website for helping with academic English. Okay. Jenny, would I recommend going through a company for work? Yes. I think the best way to get yourself up and running and get your students coming in is to go and work for someone. And then alongside, you could be setting up your own website, setting up your own students to find your own students. But the easiest and quickest way to get yourself up and running is to find some of the jobs. For example, if you go to our website, and there are other websites that advertise TEFL jobs. It's not just ours. I'll tell you a couple more that do it. But if you go to our TEFL.org website, and if you look at the top, there is a section that is TEFL jobs. Okay, you click on that, find some. You'll see the jobs listed either online or around the world, if that's what you want to do. And you just go through that, find one that you like the look of, and you you got to fill in the information here. You can. It's not coming up. It's just my slow internet. You'll find yourself a job and start advertising your way through that. Okay. Other good ones are eslcafe.com. Guardian TEFL jobs are also good. They're the main ones that I would recommend. Okay. Christina, hello. Can't we just have our Facebook page and use it as our own website? Yep, you can. But I think ultimately, if you want to have Christina, can't we just have our own Facebook page and use it as our website? You can just use a Facebook page. It's an easy way to get yourself up and running. However, I think ultimately you need a website because it has more control. You can start taking more money through it and that kind of thing. You can put your schedule in, your calendars, all that kind of thing on it. I think ultimately long term it's the best way to do it, Christina. Tuscany, again, just like I just said, what I would recommend for someone that's new to the industry is to go and work for someone, but also alongside that, start to find your own students. But definitely, I think going to work for someone is the best way to get yourself up and running quickly, because finding a whole load of students yourself isn't going to happen quickly. It's going to take a little bit of time. Okay. Julia, I think I've just answered that one about how to find students from online teaching. Definitely. There we go. Phil, serious students versus time wasters. Aside from having a new student take a level test, any tips on vetting students? Right. The first thing I tell them is my price, Phil. It's one of the first conversations I have, and you'd be surprised at how many people just are not willing to spend the money, and they usually reply with something like, oh, but I live in a poor country, please could I have it for free? And you have to say, no, I'm sorry, Phil. So my advice is to definitely tell them your price if they contact you up front. That tends to get rid of the time wasters quite quickly. You can do it in a nice way. You can tell them all the benefits they'll get with that price, but that's definitely what I would say. If you've got a good website, then basically if they're looking at that properly, then that should vet them, because they'll know exactly what is good for you and what is good for them, whether you are the right one for them, whether they are the right one for you. And then that tends to cut down on the time wasters, I think. Okay. Mary, China isn't big on Facebook and Google. I didn't get the social media they use. So they use QQ, the letter Q for Queen, QQ.com, I think is the big one. I have given up ages ago on getting Chinese students myself. I just found it much more difficult. I started Japanese, Korean students I find easier to catch than Chinese students. Okay. Artur, hello. You have a little dilemma. Uncle Carl is here for you, Artur. I'm here to help you. Is there a worse perception of the online TEFL course versus stationary one among bosses? I'm not quite sure what you mean by this question, Artur. There are people out there who think that online teaching isn't as good as face-to-face. You don't often find people that say that face-to-face isn't as good as online. So is that what you mean, Artur? And there are people with PhDs and that kind of thing who maybe think you can't learn online. I have read some of those reports. But I haven't really found that as an issue, Artur, to be honest with you. I'm quite happy to call myself an online teacher, and I still get work from face-to-face universities and that kind of thing when they're running. Okay. Kane, hello. What is the minimum age you have to be in order to teach English? It's not really a minimum age, Kane, to find your own students. If you're trying to find your own students online, you could... I could get my 6-year-old daughter to have her own webpage, that kind of thing. Jobs tend to want people that are 18. Sometimes you see 21. But to find your own students online, Kane, there's no lower limit. Okay. H. Carty, hello. Where do I get the materials to teach your students? First of all, I make my own materials. Always have done. I think that is the best way. You find articles online, like reading articles, YouTube clips, something like that, and you make the materials from that. If you do want to go down the route of paying for it, something like onestopenglish.com is a good one. I think that's a good one. We also, at TEFL.org, we sell lesson plans. So if you want to get yourself, have a look on our website, TEFL.org. You can find material like that. Google is your friend for the type of English you're going to do. Okay. MC Kelly from Texas, we're using something called StreamYard. StreamYard is what we do. But you also need a fantastic person at the back end of the website to help you. And I've got the amazing Alan doing it for me. Nigel, was I nervous when I took on my first student? Yep. Do I get nervous now when I meet a student for the first time? Yep. I just do. I think some people don't, but for me, yep, that's something that happens. Okay. There we go, Katya. Thank you. That was some help about that. Maria, hello. What would my advice? I'm just going to read you. I'm trying to change the subject and the object, and it's not working in my head. Hi, Carl. What would your advice is for non-native speakers like myself, but who have mastered and speak English at a native level? You hold a CELTA qualification and MSc, both taken in the UK. Very strong grammar and teaching methods. Many thanks. Well, there's jobs out there for non-native speakers, Maria. So go on our website, tefl.org, and type into the blog post jobs for non-natives. You'll find loads of things like that. Maria, you can also start your own website. You know, nobody ever asked me what my first language is from the students that contact me. They just care about the content of my videos, all that kind of thing. The other thing you could do if you're looking for jobs and they're saying no natives, you could say, well, wait there, I've got a very high level IELTS certificate. Will that be enough to class me as a native speaker? And you'd be surprised. Sometimes they do that. Okay. Sandrine, is LinkedIn only for business English students? It's good for business English students, but I don't think it's only general English students. General English, I would try and narrow it down from general English. You know, there's groups on LinkedIn for certain exams. There's groups on English for certain, like legal English, that kind of thing. General English is very wide. Narrowing it down helps you. Okay. It can be used for lots of things. Yes. Okay. Sue, can I share my website name? I'm sorry, I don't share my website name, Sue. And the reason being is because I did it one time and somebody copied it. So I'm not doing it again. Zoya, would you charge the same fee for online lessons as face-to-face? Yep, I do myself. Yep, I try. If I meet someone face-to-face, and I've met some people in Starbucks, that kind of thing, then I do. I don't have people around my house. Okay, but I've met people in, you know, coffee shops and that kind of thing. I charge them the same rate of pay as I charge for doing online. Yeah, my rate of pay that I charge online is similar to how much a local college in the country where I live in, which is the United Kingdom, pay their teachers. Because I feel like, why should I earn less for teaching online than I could earn just from going up the road? Okay. Linda, I'm sorry about the no degree thing, but have a look online, see what you can do. Okay. Zoya, if you have a PGCE, a MA, and a BA, what TEFL course I need to do? You could just do the 120-hour course to get yourself going. Zoya, that will get you up in teaching. Look on the website, look for 120 hours. You'll find one like that. Okay. Josephine, hello. Currently doing the 120-hour TEFL. Good luck with it. You're in the UK but want to teach abroad and travel. This is a long-term goal. You want to teach online, but if you want to move countries, want to teach you from other countries that are feasible. How does that work with tax? How would I find out more about that? So you need to Google people called working nomads. That's what these people that are teaching around the world and changing call themselves. So Google working nomad. With tax, I don't know how that works with tax necessarily. It depends how I think you've got to just do some. You can contact HMRC if you're in the UK, the tax office, and they'll hopefully give you a bit of advice. I don't want to give you too much of advice because I don't really know about that sort of thing from traveling around the world and doing it. Okay. But I would say digital nomad or tax whilst working abroad, all that kind of thing. Google is your friend there. And it is feasible. We have a blog, or I don't know if it's a blog page that's actually on our website, if you see what I mean. But we have a link to some digital nomads on our website. So it might be worth looking at that one. Okay, Josephine. Good luck with that. I hope it works out. Jenny, thank you for telling me about your degree situation. Thank you for your guidance. No problem. Nicole, hello. You would love to start teaching in the summer. You don't have any kind of Facebook page yet. What's the best advice to start from absolutely zero Facebook friends? I I think go on Facebook and just find the people you know. That's the quickest way. If you don't have, I mean, look, I can see you're on YouTube. Start a YouTube page. That's another way of getting students as well. So, you know, Mikhail, start to think about, you know, start using hashtags, that kind of thing. If you don't want to use Facebook, fine. There are other ways out there for sure. Okay. If you have no friends, I think go on there. I don't really let my friends join my page really, because they're not my target audience, to be honest. So I just made a page very, very slowly, put some videos on there, went into the other groups, advertised it, all that kind of thing. You know, go on and have a little chat. Hi guys, check out my Facebook page, blah, blah, blah. That's how I got them, and that's how I got them started going. Okay. What to expect from the weekend classroom course. That's a nice one, Laura. So you would expect to have someone like me with you the whole weekend. And basically what all of our tutors have taught around the world, have a high level of qualifications, that kind of thing. Lots of teaching experience. And basically you get the theory that you learn on the 120-hour course, or if you're halfway through, the teachers will help you with that kind of thing. And they'll show you how to do it practically. Okay, so you would basically have a grammar point, for example, or a learning skill that you would have to teach either yourself or with a partner, and you teach that online, because at the moment the classroom courses are running online, and the teacher would give you some feedback, the teacher would help you out, all this kind of thing. The other, or if it's in a classroom, it's similar. If it's a classroom courses, although I don't think we're still not running those because of COVID, hopefully by the summer. But again, you spend a weekend with someone like me, and you get to take the theory and put it into practice with lots of practical help of doing it. And it's a good way, if you've never taught before, of getting yourself up there and teaching, and in a situation where it doesn't matter a huge amount if you make too many mistakes. And it's also a good thing to put on your CV to try and help you get jobs. Okay. Eleanor, sorry, you're thinking about starting a 40-hour teaching online. The extra module, is it? Okay, good. Yep. Do you think that would be a plus for me to get students or companies? Yeah, I think so. Right. The industry of teaching, and they always expect people to have qualifications. So when I first did my English as a foreign language qualification donkey's years ago, I thought that would be enough. Then I started seeing lots of different jobs. I started seeing people advertise which wanted certain things. And I realized that actually in the field of education, you as a teacher are as expected to keep learning and get more qualifications. And now I've got, I don't know, too many qualifications really in English as a foreign language. And sometimes they repeat themselves, but this is something that's wanted. Hours do not repeat themselves. So if you go and do the 40-hour teaching online, that is a big bonus on top of the theory of learning 120 hours. If you have the time and if you have the money, I would recommend you doing it, Eleanor. Okay. How do you look up Google, Facebook keywords? So there's a plugin that you can get, which is called, wait there, I'm just trying to find it. I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. What's it called? Anyway, if you type into Google AdWords, Google AdWords, Google Facebook keywords, that kind of thing, you'll be able to find it. Okay, lots of videos showing you how to do them, Steph. It's really, really helpful for narrowing down your niche. Okay. Good, Lisa. I'm glad you enjoyed your weekend course. Only got about 5 minutes left, guys. I'm trying as fast as I can to catch up with the work. Megan, hello. I hope I've said that right. So I'm trying to catch up with your questions. You're currently pursuing TEFL on our website. However, I see where most online jobs are requesting people from the USA or UK. Yes, there are jobs out there that will take on people who don't have a British, who aren't in the UK or the USA. There are definitely companies out there. Keep looking. You will find work, Megan. All right? Just keep looking. Unfortunately, most companies wrongly, in my mind, want people from the UK or the USA. Okay? Naina, where can you get help with setting up your website or webpage? So there's plenty of people online that you can pay to help you. I don't recommend that. I think the best way to do it is to teach yourself through like getting started with WordPress, getting started with Wix, something like that. Google that, teach yourself step by step. I think is the best way. Will save you money long term as well. Okay. Austin, I'm not sure about the 2-day course in May. You'll get an email about it, or you can contact the office, info@tefl.org. I'm sorry, I don't know about the Nottingham course in May. Good. Yeah, tax. Thank you. Lovely. Lots of help there about the tax. That's good. TEFL coin is a brilliant idea. I hadn't thought about TEFL coin. You've just got. I'm going to steal that one, Gambits. Unless you get that one before me, I'm going to start my own TEFL coin. That's a good one. Lovely. I'm just looking for the next question. Alexandra, how do you reach Chinese students? Difficultly, I think. Right. Okay. Obviously, China's over there, isn't it? China is the biggest market. However, it's also the one where the most people are trying to find. The most teachers are trying to get. Everyone sort of thinks, oh, China, let's get China. However, lots of competition to get Chinese students. Also, loads of language schools already working in China. If I was you, I'd sort of start thinking somewhere else. Chase the oil money. Chase the rich countries over here. Chase the numbers that come around here in India, that kind of thing. Alexandra, I've given up trying to chase Chinese students myself. Sarah, is WordPress a hosting company? No. WordPress is a software that is built into the internet, into a web page to help you build a website. It's not a hosting company. A hosting company would be something like, what are the big ones? Is it Gator.com or something like that? Or 123? I can't remember what the hosting companies are. Okay. If you Google hosting companies, you'll get so many paid ads coming after your money. Okay. Rebecca, did you mainly find students using Google ads? Yes, I did. I found that better than Facebook ads myself. Okay. Why? Because it sort of sent them more directly to my website, and I had more luck through my website than I did through Facebook. Okay. Dana, hello. What do I think about using a company like Italki that handles money, marketing, all that kind of thing? I think they're pretty good. I think they're fine. However, long term, you're not going to make as much money as if you find them yourself. But I think they are a good way to get yourself up and running. However, there's a lot of different lots of different people on there. But I think it's a good way if you can get yourself up and running that way. Yeah, for sure. But personally, I think the best way is to find your own students alongside different types of way. Okay. Barbara, I don't advertise anymore, but I did used to advertise. Personally, I don't advertise anymore, but because I get enough sort of organic people coming to my website. But I know lots of people did. I think doing adverts is still the best way to go about it. Okay. Hello, everybody. Lots of still hellos coming in, which is nice to see. Yeah, Monster Board is another one that you can try and find work from. Okay. Yeah, I think there's lots of different ways of finding jobs. Indeed, INDEED is also another way that lists lots of TEFL jobs as well. Have a look on that one, Sandrine. Okay. Ali. Amanda, I don't know if this is the same question, the one before. Ali, what hourly rate would I recommend for starting? I would recommend a rate that you're happy to work for, Ali. Sorry. So I don't know where you are in the world. Are you happy to work for £5 an hour? Is that going to pay your bills? Work for £5 an hour. Do you need to have £15-20 an hour coming in? Charge £15-20 an hour. The problem with working online is you are competing against the whole wide world, and you will see people advertising themselves as an online teacher for £5 an hour. And you think, well, I don't want to work for £5 an hour, but unfortunately some people do. So you've got to give some added benefit, Ali. That's where having a niche and having focused marketing helps you. Okay. Peter, hello. Do I think marketing in other languages to find students in other countries is necessary? You're moving to Brazil later in the year and you want to find students there as well as internationally. I think, yeah, in something like that, I would try and make a Brazilian website if I was you, Peter. Write it yourself or pay someone to translate it or get a mate to translate it. I mean, obviously, you got to think that Google Translate will do a lot of the translating, that kind of thing. And the other thing you got to be aware of is that that people will be sort of judging your level of English. And if they just see a Brazilian website, they might, I would sort of offer Brazilian and English, but I personally don't do the translation on my website. I let the students sort that out with Google Translate or something like that. Okay. Sandrine, does TEFL.org offer any help with CV and job applications for their students? So we've got lots of information on our website if that's what you're looking for, and also we do offer sort of individualized help. Is that what you're looking for, Sandrine? Yep, you can send your CV to us, info@TEFL.org, and we will definitely help you out with that one, Sandrine. Okay, for sure. Okay, contact the Facebook, the message. Send us a message on the page if you need more information about that, Sandrine. Okay. Good. I can see all the hellos. I think I'm going to run out of questions. No, I think that's it. I think that's all the questions, guys, and that's the hour which we're coming up to. Listen, everybody, thank you for the questions. If your question hasn't been answered, please send it through to info@tefl.org. You can also put it in the comments below, and someone might get round to it hopefully and be able to answer it for you. Go on our website. We have loads of information on the website. Everything that I've gone into, I've not gone into as much detail as we do on our own website. Okay, so if you go to TEFL.org, go on the blog pages at the top, you'll be able to find information like that. There's also a chat with us function, all that kind of thing. You'll be able to get, down the bottom here, chat with us. At the top here, there's a blog page, lots of information. The blog is absolutely fantastic if you want very specific information. So I don't know, if you type in there, young learners, for example, you want to find some information about young learners, guides here about teaching young learners. Okay, there's loads of great stuff on our website. So I really recommend TEFL.org. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. Thank you. Look at those lovely thank yous. You have a good weekend. Look after yourself. Okay, please take care, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Have a good weekend. Bye.